Heavenly Father, into your presence today, Lord. Thank you so much for this day.
All right, so we are not in your mustard couch.
No, this is not it.
We are in Germany. Like we moved and we have been living on base now for about a week and a half.
Yeah, it's been quite the adventure, to say the least.
But we want to bring you guys back to the very moment where we kind of like found out that we're gonna come here, how that happened. I guess like we should start with you, like how that started.
Yeah, so for those that kind of know how PC or not PCS, but choosing orders and all that stuff works, at least in the Navy, right? I'll kind of give a quick backstory on how it should work, and then kind of how it played out for us. So typically, 12 months out, you are up for orders. Right? You have a window, so like a 2-ish week window where you get to choose where you want to go. You could choose up to 7 options out of a list of. It just depends on what your job is, what your rank is, right? But typically, you choose around like 5 to 7 places where you want to go. 1 year out. So here we are. At the time, I was in Italy. I think we were in Port in Italy. I remember being Sicily.
Okay.
Yeah, down in Sigonella.
He was deployed.
Was
That's why he
deployed.
was there. You
Yeah.
know, like I was in Brazil with my family and he was deployed.
And so I remember I was like around the time, maybe 13, 14 months out. So 2 months before my first window.
And we were talking a lot about like where we're gonna go. We really want to go back to Italy because that's where we met. We want to bring the kids back there. Like I speak Italian, so like I feel like things would be like easier. Like we have a church there, we have friends there. Like it wouldn't be like
It wasn't our first time there.
yeah, it wouldn't be like a first time there. You know, like we already have a community. Yeah.
I remember a lot of things there. We could have driven around. And
Uh-huh.
so we're a couple months, month and a half before the window opens for me. And so I remember talking with her about where we want to go, blah, blah, blah. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'll reach out to like the special programs detailer who kind of has like different jobs that could possibly get us somewhere in Italy, Europe in general. So I reach out to him and I tell him what we're looking to do. And he's like, hey, unfortunately, I don't have anything in Naples, which is kind of what I'd already seen on the little website. So that kind of confirmed that for me.
But this is like 2 months even before we were even up for
Right.
orders. You know, like it wasn't the time.
No.
Not at all. It was not the time.
Like
Okay.
normally it's 12 months. This was about almost 14 months prior to when I was leaving. Vice 12. So
Okay.
not even in my window. I call this guy. We're talking. And then I tell him kind of where we want to be, which would be, our preference. But really the main goal was to get to Europe. So then he tells me, hey, I've got a job in Stuttgart, Germany. If you're interested in that, blah, 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 let me know. And then I told him, I said, hey, let me talk to my wife and I'll get back to you. He's like, sounds good. Shoot me an email. All right, cool. And so just so y'all know, Germany was one of the last places.
I wanted to go.
Yeah.
I
Just because of, I
can explain like what happened, you know? But continue.
And so once I talked to Bia about it, I kind of shot the guy an email back. I was like, hey, it sounds like a good, good opportunity and stuff. I was interested in it just as in it being like available for me to apply for. Right. So that's all I thought was happening. Because again, I'm not even in my window. There was no window at all open for anyone. And so when I tell him that, I'm thinking, hey, I'm just kind of like getting,
Information.
Yeah,
That's all. Like,
information.
we're just getting to know about what the job is. That's it. Like he's not applying for the job because we're not even in the window to apply. Usually, like in the military, you only apply like in your window or a little bit after.
Yeah, well, 12, 10, yeah. So simply just kind of inquired. Yeah, I said, we were interested in being in Europe, which I told him on the phone as well. And then not even 18 hours later, when I get back on the ship or check my email, and it says like a congratulations email, which is what you typically get when you apply for orders and are selected. And I just see it, I'm like, huh? And I go to the website, and there's like this little bar will be like filled out, like with all the steps you've completed, like for being selected. And it was like all the way full. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then
How are you process like how I'm gonna tell her because you were deployed?
Well, yeah, that was one thing. So it took me a little bit because I was trying to figure out like how do I drop this? Because again, she wasn't expecting this whatsoever. Neither was I. And so
Like he was literally just trying to get to know about the job. That's it. Like he wasn't applying or anything like that.
no, and so I just remember being like dumbfounded and like how this happened because again, I've never been in that situation, right? And so then at that point, I'm like, okay, how do I tell her? And so I delayed a little bit. And I think after a few weeks or so, came up with a plan, put the plan in action. Let me talk about that. Yeah. And so I had her brother, my amazing brother-in-law, Mateos, help me out. We got some T-shirts made. And, oh shoot, I'm kind of forgetting what was on the front, what was on the back, what order. It was the Present Proverbs.
Guess where we're going, mommy? And
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I guess it was like basically the question on the front about where we're going, and on the back was a German flag and a verse from Proverbs, and it said Stuttgart, Germany on there. And so the kids were all wearing one of those.
Yeah, and then they came walk in, and I had that feeling that he was going to do something like that, and I was just feeling that something was happening. And then I remember just seeing the kids walking in with that. I was like, no, oh my goodness, no. Like, I don't know, like I cried that moment because I just felt my heart so heavy because I felt like we completely like skipped a step.
Yeah.
Because like I was kind of like hoping that he was gonna get back from deployment, then we are gonna like actually have that sit down and like choose the place together, which was like how he talked about it. I feel like we completely like skipped a step and something that we didn't really, I don't know. But yeah, so wasn't really expecting. I am Brazilian, like I just really want to be like in a warmer country. Like honestly, like my top 5 would have been like Italy, Hawaii, San Diego. I don't know, maybe even stay in Virginia. That was even one of my options. Literally, like I was okay being in Virginia. Yeah, but
I'll take Germany.
It took me like a few months to just process all of that we were gonna come to Germany. Starting to get excited about coming back to Europe, even though like it's not Italy, we were gonna be like close enough. Germany is like in the heart of Europe, so close to everything. It was a lot. I mean, like we went through like 4 deployments in 3 years, pretty much. So the way things happened is like I got back from deployment, and then all of this like started to happening. Like he got back from deployment, we went to New York for a few days, and then we had Christmas. And on the 26th of December, they came to pack our stuff. We can put some pictures of like these moments. On the 26th, they came to pack our stuff. Like they were there for like 4 days. It was like a long process, because a long process. Like I shared all of that. And then we realized that we were missing some documents to come to Germany. So we had to stay a little bit longer in Virginia. Then we were flying on the 31st to spend New Year's in the airplane.
Passed out.
I don't think
any of us were really awake.
And then like I got to Germany on the 1st, super happy. Like ready to start this year here. Like I was legit like very happy that we were coming back to Europe together.
Yeah.
I feel like getting to know that we were coming to Germany was a shock to me because I feel like we skipped a step. And like, I mean, we don't have this a whole lot of times in the military. So, I mean, we don't have like a whole lot of years left in the military. So that was hard, And also that it was one of the places that we got to choose together. But I was happy to be here. I was happy to be coming here. So you want to get it from there?
So we got here. It was quite the trip.
Yeah.
The flight was okay. Some things didn't go according to plan, but we made it. Came with 23 bags, I think was the count.
23 bags, that's true. Oh my goodness.
So that was intense. I had an awesome sponsor here who picked me up with like this massive van.
But that's like an important part to talk about it. How things started to go down after we got here. So we got here, 23 bags. Kyle had a sponsor, and then that sponsor came with someone else. We're not gonna like talk that much. And honestly, for the last 3 years, it was extremely hard on our family, on us, and I feel like what was holding me, like, okay, this is gonna be in the past, this is gonna be over. We're gonna move into like a home with like a backyard. We're gonna try and like have a routine. I don't know. I was just like trying to just put like some things on my head, to just get us through this like hard moments. Like this is just in the moment. It's gonna pass. Like we're gonna get to live this somewhat normal life, I thought.
Not yet. No.
So like I don't know, I feel like I built up like all these hopes and dreams, to get me through this last 3 years, and you too, like it was just we were always able to choose like the home we are gonna live and all of that. And so we arrive here, and then Kyle comes to no, I'm so sorry. And then like we arrived here, and then his sponsor comes with someone else that's like higher up than both of them. And then he was a super sweet person, and then I talked to him. I was like, we were really hoping to live off base. We knew coming here that it could be one or the other, like that some people live on base, some people live off base. And like I just really talked to him, like he was a very sweet guy, and I was like, I really want to live like in a house, like really like experience Germany, like I know that this experience is gonna be unique to be in Germany. It's not gonna be for a long time, like only for a few years. Like we're probably like never gonna come back here to live ever again. So like I'd love to just experience the German lifestyle. I would love to live in a house with like a backyard for the kids. I'm not the kind of person that drives a whole lot, so like the home we are in impacts a lot, because like I stay a whole lot of time in the house. Like we have never had a backyard since we had kids. Like it's one of my dreams to just be able to sit down in the backyard and just see the kids playing. It's not like sitting down the street or even like in a playground, and okay, like they are safe, like they are in our backyard, because everywhere else either cars are going by or a playground is open. Like I cannot do that. Like this is something so simple for some families, but for me, we have never had it. So like I told him like all of this, like I would love to have a backyard. And then like that's when things start to go down for me. He told us like, I got you guys. I know the person, the
Housing director.
I know the housing director. He's one of my friends. He offered us actually to be living off base, and we chose to be on base. Like he was so confident, and also like being someone like higher up than Kyle, someone that has been here for pretty much almost 3 years. I don't know, like I truly just believed in him, like because why not? Like he's someone in the military. I don't know, like it's just as a spouse, like yes, like wow, like we're good. And then as soon as we got there on the first day, we brought all the 23 bags to the hotel room. And then Kyle found like a realtor, which is like it's normal to just be looking at houses when we're gonna move to the place, because we didn't know what was gonna happen, just so we like prepared. And this guy, he was like, how was the situation like on the first he sent you the house?
Yeah, right when we got there, I touched base with him again, and he sent me a property, or maybe I asked him, I forget, but we've talked about this property, and then we set up like that weekend to go see it.
It was like the day after, on the 2nd.
Oh, okay, the second. Yeah. So we went to go see it with him.
So Kyle, like, he rented the car that morning. So like since we were like so confident, we went to see the home, which I'm gonna post like a video here of the house. It's like, it was beautiful. And when I tell you guys, that was like everything I had prayed for, because my mom, she's the kind of person that she's like, you should like pray like exactly what you want, like the details and all of that. So like I prayed for the home, and when I tell you guys that it was exactly what I prayed for, you want to talk about the house a little bit?
Yeah, it was very,
What?
I want this to be our home.
very pretty. I mean, this was a detail that we probably didn't pray for, but it had so much space. Like there was an unreasonable amount of space. Oh, right, sorry. There's like an unreasonable amount of space, which for a European house, not normal. Anyways, all the living areas were very modern, updated, beautiful floors, beautiful bathroom, kitchen appliances, kitchen, the yard. There was like 2 yards technically.
They had a dinosaur room.
Yeah, Noah's room was already set.
It was like whenever we met the landlord, he was so sweet, and like his son used to love dinosaurs, had like a huge dinosaur room, and he was like, whenever you guys come to live here, I'm gonna give this dinosaur to your son. Noah got so happy.
I know.
And then Emma, like as she was walking in, she was like, "Mommy, I want to live in this house." And like there was a moment like that she was walking in, she was like, they have a backyard, like literally, like it wasn't just me that was wanting a backyard, like they wanted that, you know, like she's been asking for that for a long time too.
Yeah, that's cute. But so then we saw that. We got pretty stoked about that whole situation, and then that's when we started the. That following week was like the in processing stuff, and I remember going to the brief, and one of the parts of it was housing. And housing was at 94% occupancy, which, as per their instruction, if it's at 95%, you can, you know, they're good. They're good on that, right? And you can live off base. Is how I read the
But why do you
instruction.
think so? Like when it gets to a 950%, like people has to live off base because
I'm assuming just to provide some flexibility for people that need. There's certain jobs that have to be on base. And so I think that 95% just gives them that 5% flexibility or
that's
something.
not your job, right?
Nah, I don't know. It's not written out in there, but
Okay.
it depends who you ask. So 94% was where they're at, and I'm thinking like, oh, because after this is when I was going to go at my appointment or whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, 94%, like we should be good, you know?
And we were meeting so many families in the hotel, like
Oh yeah.
like meeting like in the elevator or like walking by, like, hi, we just got here too, you know, like. And they're like, oh, we got off base. Like, literally, like, probably like 5 families without
Yeah.
we got off base. We got off base.
So yeah, I got through the in-processing day. I made my appointment for that following day. And I go in there thinking like, okay, like, here we go, you know. Let me get my certificate of non-availability. I'll immediately make the appointment to start the contract process for this place we're about to
Because
get.
the landlord also had loved us. Like,
Yeah.
what are the odds? Like, literally, we had seen one house. The landlord loved us. We loved him. We loved the house. It was like literally.
It just felt like we were in there. And then
Felt right.
the lady's like, okay, da 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 da. She's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not. She explained to me she's new, whatever. I'm okay, cool. Anyway, so she gets to the point where she's like, yeah, I don't see anything in the system, blah blah blah. Like, let me just double check because I don't want to miss something. So she goes and gets the housing director.
You should have just let her miss something.
Well, it wasn't me to let her do anything, but so she's like, let me just go get this person to make sure I'm right. He comes in there, doing whatever. He's like, hey, go check, see if we have this key. And I was like, don't have the key. Please don't have the key. Why are we checking if there's a key? I was like, sir, I understand, you know, y'all got to do a job. I was like, but really, like, if there's one key left, like, don't you just let it be? You know, we really want to live off faith. That's
You said that.
that's why I started giving my piece. I'm like, I don't just let it go.
Let
You know,
it go.
let
Yeah.
it go.
I'm sure it's gonna have a family that they're gonna really wanna live on base.
Right.
Yeah.
They want that that
It's
feeling.
just not us. Yeah.
So I was telling them that, whatever, and then she leaves to go check for the key. She comes back with the envelope, and I'm like, there's a key.
Oh my.
And he's like, okay, I've got this 4-bedroom unpatched, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, we really still don't want to live on base. And he's like, look, and he's like talking to me and blah, blah, blah. I at this point, I was in one ear and out the other. So he basically gives me the key and like we can go look at it, check it out. And then
It wasn't like a sure thing. He was like, just go and check it out, stuff like that. And then Kyle got to the hotel room, and like literally, I thought he was gonna tell me that he got the letter of like we can leave off base. And when he told me, I was like, I
just melted into the bed.
yeah, like I literally like I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I literally started to crying because like literally everyone else we had just met, they got here the same time we did. The people with 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe this is happening. That day I wanted to come here and check the house. So it was snowing. We got the bus because we didn't have a car. We weren't authorized to have a car yet. We were without a car for like 2 weeks. But yeah, so we came here with the bus, walked in here, and I just cried. I was like, this doesn't feel like home. I don't want to leave here. And I just started praying. Like literally, I called my mom. We just prayed so much. It was the next day or the next day, the day after, that I went there to talk with him.
I think it was that next day.
The
Yeah.
next day, something like that. And then, because like he said, like, just come back here, like, to tell what you guys think. And then I was like, okay, Kyle, like, I got it. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And we had a friend that she said, like, oh, like, I went there by myself when it was our turn, and I just stayed there, and I told him, like, just like, don't worry, I'll find a house quick, like, I'm not gonna be like a bother for you guys, stuff like that. Just let me leave off base. And she got it, so I was like, let me just go, Kyle, you stay here with the kids, like, I'm just gonna go and talk with him. I went there to go talk with him, and he was a nice guy. I was like, sir, we just really want to leave off base. I talked to him about like everything, like what we had gone through, and like all the deployments. Not that like people like that they would care much, but I just want like him to know like the whole picture, the whole story. I was just like, I know that you only have like one apartment left with 4 bedrooms, and I'm sure that a family that really wants to live on base, they are gonna want that apartment, and it's not gonna be available because we're gonna be there,
Right.
and we really don't want it. Like, and I told him, like, we found a home. That I explained to him the whole situation. I was like, hey, could you please help us? I talked to him, stuff like that, and then he was like, let's do this. That was like on Thursday, I think. He was like, come back on Tuesday. He gave us like 4 more days. Come back on Tuesday and let's see if someone else like signs up for that apartment, because sometimes people can either go in or they can just like sign up online for the apartment, and then you guys are good. Like, and then okay, it was like 4 days. That waiting season was hard. Just praying a lot, and just living in God's, just living with God. How was it for you, those 4 days?
I mean, I was obviously hoping for the best. Not really trying to prepare for the worst because I didn't want to.
Yeah. It wasn't just me that was wanting to live on base.
Not live on base, yeah.
That was, yeah.
No,
How were you feeling?
I'm a big believer in like not staying where I work. Like I like being away from where I work.
Yeah, I mean,
I like being, especially we came to Germany to be in Europe, not be in mini America.
and it is like mini America.
Yeah, so like it's just one of those things. And it's no offense. Like if you're in the military, or been in the military, and you like living on base, that's fine. But personally, like I've been overseas, 2 different countries, and I loved being in the culture.
No, 2, right? This is the 3rd.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So yeah, prior to here, I've been in Japan, I've been in Italy. I wanted to be out in the culture. Like I know for sure in Italy, I chose a place to live that was near like no other Americans.
Yeah.
I ended up living near one, but he's pretty cool.
You lived like 30 minutes from the base to try and like experience, and you experienced the Italian lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Like you lived near like Italian restaurants, like legit ones. Yeah. Near the beach. It was the most amazing experience.
It was.
And in Japan too, you got to choose afterwards.
Yeah,
your
I chose there too, but I stayed like super close to base.
Yeah.
That's just because I was still kind of young, but it was good though. I was still out there.
But yeah, so, and then we go back as a family now on Tuesday. 4 days had passed, and a lot of prayers. We went to church, and then we go in to go talk with this person. He was not there at that moment. He was gonna be right back. So we were just in the waiting room for him. Someone else walks in, and then this lady just says like, so Tanana's name gave us the key for you guys, so you guys can move in on Friday. I didn't know what to say. I feel like I was like a statue that time, right? I was like literally like, I remember like her just talking with us, mainly to me, because Kai was on the side watching the kids, and I was just like, she was just saying stuff, and I feel like I was like, okay, this is not happening. Literally, I feel like I could not process what was happening because, first of all, I waited these 4 days to talk with him, and just like right before I said like, oh, like he just told me 5 minutes ago that you guys are moving in on Friday. I thought that was so disrespectful because I waited these 4 days to talk with this person, and I was fine just sitting down and waiting and for him to finish whatever meeting he was on, for him to just like 5 minutes before he even left to just tell, like, he knew how important this was. Like I literally like I poured my heart into the last meeting to him, to just say like, oh, you guys are moving in on Friday, like it's a completely different like lady. Is that making sense? What I'm saying?
There was a lady that I sat down with initially.
So like I don't know, like for me it wasn't like, for me it was just like I just had seen him the past meeting, so it's just like I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like we were not even in the actual like
Office.
in the office. Like we were in the waiting room when she came. Like we knew what was happening. Like I was like so caught off guard. I shut down. Literally, that's how I felt. Like I shut down. Like I cannot believe this is happening. And I cannot believe that this is how they told us. Like they weren't like, oh, I'm sorry, like we're actually, no, like she was just saying like it was the most normal thing. Yeah. So I let Kyle handle it. I left Bo. He had Emma and Noah. I just went to walk around the PX. It's not like next year. And I remember like just waiting for him there and just like crying, and just like my eyes it was like so blurry. I couldn't even see almost like what I was like walking into, because I was just crying and crying and crying. I don't know. It was like, because it was the beginning of like, okay, we have to live on base, and we don't have a choice. Kyle had asked, because this was like happening right in the week of like the
exam, yeah,
of like an exam. He was like
exam.
So like that was like on Tuesday when they told us, was like, oh, can we move like next week? And then they were like, no, you guys gotta move on Friday. He had this exam on Thursday, and he was like, but I really have the exam. No, like, can we just do it? Like, no, like we want you guys off the hotel on Friday.
Yeah.
How is it for you as a sailor, having to hear like you have to leave on base?
That's the part
like, you have to.
In the moment, I didn't consciously recognize why I was like frustrated in a way that I wasn't understanding, because it wasn't just kind of like I wasn't consciously feeling this way at the time. But after we kind of got the news, got here, I was talking with some of my buddies about it and stuff, and I realized like the last time anyone told me where to live, right, was when I joined the Navy, and I went to my first ship, and they're like, hey, you're living right here on the ship, right, because you have to live on the ship. And then when it was time to get a barracks room, guess what? They said, hey, this is your barracks and this is your room, right? They told me what to do.
When you were 18 years old.
When I was a little baby,
Now you were 34.
And easy. Still look like I'm like 24, but on a good day. So that was the part that I finally realized, like, that I was so bugged about, was because like this guy who's just some civilian working in a housing office is like telling me, or another grown man, that I'm gonna eat this, literally, because they remember they had one key, one apartment.
Usually I didn't know about that. Someone else, another spouse, told me that they like they have to let you see a different like a base housing before you decide. So usually you have a choice to at least see 3 houses on base. We didn't even have that. That was like, there was this one, and it's done. Like literally, they told us we have to live here, and that's it.
Yeah, the guy told me, and that when B had left with Bo, whatever, one of the part of the conversation was like, I asked him like, hey, so what if we don't want this unit, right? Because I've heard something similar to this prior to. I was like, what if we don't want this unit, right? Because it's up on the 2nd floor. We got small kids. She's gonna get pregnant sometime soon, right?
We have to go like 4 sets of stairs to get here. It's the 2nd floor, but like 4 sets of like stairs.
I was like, so what if we don't want this unit? Then what? He's like, you have to take it. It's the only one. I was like, okay. Like that. I think that's the part that honestly like frustrated me the most. It was like some random person telling me where I'm gonna live. Like it just obviously it's not random. He's a housing director, but it was like very frustrating to hear at this stage in the game. I'm not again, maybe if I was 18, 19 years old, married with multiple kids, and I showed up over in this exact situation, I would not argue because I have no idea what I'm doing, right? But when I have 8 years of being overseas, knowing how OHA, which is housing allowance, the utility money, how all this stuff works, I knew what we were like. I knew what I was trying to bite off.
We came like prepared, you know, like we know that we had to bring extra money for like renting a house off base, you know, like we came prepared for all of that, and like knowing that like people we had just met, like they were moving off base, like we didn't know that it was gonna be a problem, or at least like we thought that I don't know, maybe we would be able to have a choice because it was at 94%. You know, literally like it's like full. The base is full. You know, like and people they do want to live on base. Like there are people that do want to live on base.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was the moments that like I was pretty sad the few days after, you know, like we found out on Tuesday, we moved them on Friday. I would say that for those 3 days I was like,
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
I was pretty much in bed crying those 3 days. Kai was like the MVP.
Yeah, you called me an MVP somewhere, right?
Yeah. He was like, he packed the 23 bags to bring back here. His sponsor helped him like bring in the van. I was like, I was not doing great because I felt that like I was being strong for those past 3 years, and I felt like I didn't have any more to give, any more strength, because we're not talking about a vacation. We're not talking spending 1 or 2 months here. We're talking about 3 years of our life. You know, like the environment you live can affect a lot. Everything, you know, like everything. And then like not having an option in that, it was like really hard. And to like going back to the very beginning, like it wasn't even a place that I wanted to come. Like I had to like, it took me months to even get excited, you know, and then, okay, I got excited because we're gonna experience Germany and all of that, you know, and then we saw the house that he offered everything we wanted, and then seeing like all of that being taken away, it was hard. It was like probably like one of the hardest things that like to just not have a choice of where we're gonna live. And not counting that like everything here is just so different, like the challenge with the stairs with the little kids. Bo is still so little. We wanting to have a baby. You know, like it's not a super small apartment, but it is small compared to like we never had a backyard, but we live in like a 3-story.
Well, so yeah, I was going to say that the challenge we haven't faced yet because we don't have our stuff, as you can notice on this beautifully government issued couch. We had a 2,200 square foot house with a 2-car garage and stuff literally almost through every square foot of the house. And now we are in a almost 1,100 square foot apartment that has a not even a one, like it has like a downstairs storage area that's significantly maybe like half of a car garage. It's very small. It's like a large shed looking area, and that's all we got.
Like we don't know like where all of our stuff's is gonna go, because like we had a garage full of stuff. Like we had like a storage unit near our house with stuff. So I don't know. That would be kind of like a challenge, you know.
There's stuff on every wall.
So yeah, so like we don't know how it's gonna be when our stuff arrives. But going back to Friday, the day we were gonna move in, Kyle came. He dropped off a bunch of stuff with his sponsor, and then they went back to the hotel to pick us up. We came here. Kai was able to rent a car that day. After 2 weeks, we were here, which was a blessing, because I feel like it made us feel a little bit more mobile. You know, like we had a little bit more of like a.
We're big boy and girl again.
Yeah. So like I was sitting down in the car because Bo was sleeping, and then like I was just not really wanting to come in. And then after Kyle brought all the bags here, he was like, "You want to just get out of here?" Like. So we went to have German food for the very first time. It was our first experience.
right.
You should go back there this
I
weekend.
know I've been thinking about that place, but I don't know what it was called.
Yeah, I'll find it. So we went to eat German food for the first time, and then after that we got some baby stuff that Bo was needing.
Oh yeah, the store was awesome.
Yeah, like baby one.
Baby one, yeah, it's pretty top out here.
And then we came back here. It was later, and I felt like way more like prepared, because I feel like I didn't come here after like all the weight of like being not laying down, but like just being so sad for the last 3 days, like
Kind of broke that up.
So we came up here, and then I've just been like praying so much, and I was like, I surrender this all to you, Lord. Because I don't want to be feeling like this, like I'm a very heavy person, like pretty joyful. I'm always trying to find like the good even in when bad things happen, like during deployment and all of that, like okay, like he's deployed, but at least I get to see family. I don't know, like I always try to find like this is not me. The way I was in the beginning of this year, it was not me, like this affected me like really like big time, because it's not like a little change, it's a big change. Like everything changes, our time schedule, the way we live, everything. And we were in zero control, like zero. Over and over again, like zero control. So whenever like we were coming in, walking those steps, when we got in front of the door, Kyle, he was like giving his hand to me, and I was like, I don't have the key, because I thought that he was trying to just get the key from me. That's what I thought. I don't know. And even Noah repeats in the video. He was like, Daddy has the key. Daddy has the key. And then Kyle, he just got my hand and he just prayed. And like right after he prayed, I literally felt like this weight lift off. And I was like, if this is what you want for us, Lord, may your will be done, like, and I was praying about all of that, like all of these days, like, just please, Lord, if this is what you want for us, just give us peace. Just give us peace, because I was not feeling peace. Like literally my heart was like very, very like bothered. I don't know, like I was not feeling peace with the idea of living here. I was just feeling heavy, like heavy, because like how I mentioned, this is not the place we're gonna spend a few months. It's 3 years of our life. And then like I felt like this weight kind of like lift off. And then I cooked that night, and we tried to make as homey as we could for the kids. And then we slept, and that morning it was just like a sunny day, which is not as often, like it doesn't happen.
These first few weeks or first couple weeks have been like super sunny, and we got snow too, but nonetheless, a lot of sun since we've been here. Like some of our neighbors we've talked to are like, yeah, it's been like unreasonably sunny. I'm like, hey, it's great. That's what we need.
That's what we need. So I've been feeling way more peace now, like since we got here. It's not ideal. It's not what we wanted, but just learning how to embrace it, like I feel like we're really trying.
I mean, we at this point we'll make our jokes here and there, but it's now we're at, I think at the stage right now is like we want our stuff, We're kind of past the like struggle of us being in where we're at physically, but now it's like we don't have stuff. We have these awesome neighbors. I'm like keep looking at it, but right behind the camera is like a few nuggets that our neighbors we met. They have kids too, obviously. And
just met our upstairs neighbors. They're Navy too. Got 3 kids.
And they dropped off some nuggets for us because like what kid doesn't want to play with a nugget, But yeah, I think it's like we're at the point now where it's like we're finding the positives, right? Like for instance, I'll tell you one. We have no bills. Like that's one thing the base housing can give you is no bills. I'll give the kids the longest bath ever and leave all the lights. No, I'm kidding. But like just like little things, because I can go more into it later, but like if we were out in Germany, that's where you get gas, like utilities and stuff. But anyways, we're trying to find the positives in it.
I would have paid the utilities charges to be in that beautiful house. So, but yes, I get it for sure.
But yeah, we're coming around. I don't know if you want me to talk about the fact that there is still an ETP out there somewhere. We could go into that more next time because we're already coming up on like 45 minutes.
Holy cow! Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're finding the positives.
We're finding the positives.
The kids are loving it.
Yeah.
They're just along for the ride. Emma will occasionally make her comment, "I want a backyard," or "I want to go to that other house."
Yeah, she's like, "I want a house with levels."
Yeah, she was saying, like, "Emma, you got stairs. Just go outside the door, and there you go." But yeah, there's a lot that we unpacked here, and we're gonna find our groove eventually.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, we're gonna go travel soon.
I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm the kind of person that loves traveling, and after all of this, like I didn't have a desire to really do anything. My birthday's in 2 days.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
You're gonna be 22.
I feel like it.
Yeah, there you go. 29.
29. My last year. This is my last year of my 20s.
But you keep getting prettier though, so
And
you're doing it right.
I don't know, like, should we talk about it? How, like, I spent my whole 20s with you, literally, by your side.
Best years of your life, yeah.
I met you when I was 19
Not by
years
my
old.
side.
Yeah,
I was deployed the last 3 years, remember? I'm just kidding.
But, like, literally, like, I met him when I was 19, so I turned 20 with you, and I spent my whole 20s
The rest
with
was
you.
history.
Can't wait to explore Italy. Yeah, just go back there.
Oh, really? You meant Italy?
Italy.
I thought you meant Germany.
My heart is in Italy. Oh my goodness.
I know, but we're only like 5, 6, no. Shoot. Maybe it's longer. 7, 9 hours from Milan.
Oh, but that's the north. Like, my heart's in
know,
the
right?
south.
That's true.
Yeah, my heart's in the south. But yeah, like, I feel like I'm definitely feeling myself kind of like coming back more, you know, like, you will, like, how you said, like, we'll have like some hard times here and there, but we will try and like turn them into good and just see good in it, you know, like, we know that we're here for a reason. And the same way, like, whenever he deployed, it was hard because we couldn't really see good in it in the beginning, remember?
But there was so much. I mean,
But there was so
holy
much.
moly.
Now that we are on the other side of deployments, you know, like, we can see how much we grew, everything, like, everything, our life changed.
It's any kind of major change or major happening that's happened, right? Or that's occurred. Well, obviously, you're talking about negative things or negative-ish things or not ideal things. But in the moment, right, you kind of start asking, why me, or why this, why now, or what is this God, right? Questions start to pop up. But once you've been through that a few times and you recognize the why or the what eventually down the road, no matter how far it is, it makes situations like we're in right now so much easier, because I already keep telling myself, like, okay, God, I got it. I've been not kind of being myself, just like Bio was saying earlier. I've been a little bit negative, a little bit pessimistic on things, but I was like, you know what, like, that's a phase. It's going to come and go. What is this for? Who's around me? Who's around us? You know, who am I going to come across randomly one day? Like the gate guard. I keep thinking about that guy, the guy from church. I always see this. The second guy I met at church was the coffee guy. Actually, both of them. Jeez. Anyways, but the second one I met at church, I see him at the gate. I see him, we saw him at the mall one time. Like, I keep seeing, you know, I'm just trying to put these pieces together. Like, okay, why are we here, right? And I know eventually I might find out like the exact why, or maybe there's multiple whys, but it makes it easier to process through something that isn't ideal, isn't what we were praying or hoping for. Because again, our prayers, our hopes, all that stuff are good if they align with what God has for us or wants for us, right? So I think we're coming around.
Yeah, That's true. Yeah, I can see a lot of benefits now being on the other side about deployment. Like in the moment, it just felt like it was,
Tough.
it was tough. It was so hard, but now I can see like so many benefits and how much like we have grew like as a how it really like strengthened like our marriage, how we learned it and we grew so much. And I have faith that the same we'll do now. And I feel like we're checking all these military boxes.
Oh God.
4 years ago, I'll tell you guys that we had never experienced deployment as a family. We had never lived on base housing. And now we have gone through 4 deployments. We're living on base housing, like so it's just definitely feels like we're checking off like all those military boxes. But I think we talked a whole lot.
We did.
We did. Maybe hopefully by the time we get back here, we have our stuff and we don't have to be holding the microphone. Like I'm sure you guys, this was not really ideal. Well, we wanted to make it work, like we wanted to just record the season of our life.
Yeah. If you're listening to this on a podcast, you may not know what we're talking about, but instead of having like the little arm that holds the microphone, we just have our arm and our hand, which is holding the microphone. So
my hand's sweating, as usual.
I was just saying, that's supposed to surprise me.
But you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the prayers. I know there was like a lot of people praying for us during this hard time. Thank you so much for just holding down the fort when I was. Well, seriously, thank you so much for holding down the fort when I was like not doing good. Yeah,
So I'm here for.
No, but I know that it was even harder because like you were also like struggling and you had to be strong because I was.
Remember one of the times she said something to me, like, because I wasn't obviously trying to show it, and she said something like, "Are you even whatever?" I was like, "I am." She's like, "But you're not even like showing whatever you said." I'm like, "Well, I can't because if I show it, then we're both down and out, and our kids are and Emma takes over, But yeah, I appreciate it, and I definitely know that everyone that was kind of reaching out, encouraging, and just dropping a few lines here and there was very useful for her, for us. We definitely appreciate the love, and we'll get back at it here shortly and see how this all goes.
And we're sure if you guys like we know that we'll find it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that we'll look back to this and know like okay. But even if we don't, and we trust in God, then we know that He's in control.
No, He is. All right, y'all take care. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.